the fields where the skies are wide, talking about a journey through the cosmic ride. Einstein and Thorne, they set the stage for a trip through time across the space age. Wormholes connect distant points in space, traversable paths to a far-off place. No black holes pull, no crushing weight, just a cosmic tunnel to a distant gate.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow. We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow.
Exotic matter, negative energy's the key to stabilize the wormhole for you and me. Quantum vacuum, squeeze so tight, creating conditions for this wondrous flight. Static fields and lasers in the lab they play, generating forces in a new kind of way. Gravitational squeezing, Casimir's force, negative zones we need to stay the course.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow.
Thin shell formalism plates so fine, spherical geometry we realign. Energy conditions that we must defy. For a stable wormhole, let's give it a try. Forces balancing the plates, creating the throat, open the gates, from Earth to the stars in a single bound. A shortcut through space profound. Engineers and dreamers hold the key to future worlds and what we could be. With science in hand, we forge ahead through the cosmic paths that we now tread.
We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow.
From the fields to the stars, we break the chains. Understanding the universe, we make the gains. Lil Hula Crunk shines, bringing truth to light. Through his music, we'll explore the night. With wormholes and stargates, our path is clear. Exploring the cosmos, our future's here.
Welcome everybody to the live stream tonight. Good to have you guys all here. Let me just fix the volume on that. My volume issues have been automatically corrected. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. We have a lot of people already in the chat. I love how active the chat streams are. Our chat is early on in the streams. Thank you guys very much. I would like to say hi to all of you individually, but it takes so long now because so many of you guys are in here. It's awesome. Yeah, the sign is on fire. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to be able to get it up on the wall for like another week or so because I'm lazy. And my dad can't come help me out for like another week. Sucks. So we might be dealing with this on this table for a little bit, but eventually it's going to get up here on the wall. It's going to look awesome. But it looks amazing, man. So I want to go ahead and say thank you to, I want to thank the sign maker. So if you guys aren't familiar with the saga of the sign, I'll just show it again. Ooh, that is looking nice. That is looking nice, chat. Ooh, that looks good. We had designed out a sign a couple weeks ago on live stream, and then I had somebody reach out to me and tell me that they can make signs and that they would do it for even cheaper than what we had priced out. And it came out amazing. I'm really glad. Like, we also had a discussion in the Discord where we were talking about it later that night about like what the best color was, what if you wanted to have the board. I'm really glad I went with the board, like the square border on the back. I really like the square border on the back. It looks really, really good. So I want to give a shout out to the people that produced the sign for me. Yes, I did pay for the sign. I don't like getting things for free. They said if you could direct your followers to the following email, So if you're interested in neon signs, email the producers of this at skunkworksufo@gmail.com. Skunkworksufo@gmail.com. I'll spell that out. skunkworksufo@gmail.com for any inquiries into designs, signs, prints, decals, etc. They said they would appreciate it. And then they said, don't stop talking. We'll be in touch. Awesome, man. Love it, dude. Absolutely love it. Great email as well. So, let's help out our other four orbsies that are out there. If you are looking to produce any of this sign kind of stuff, reach out to those guys. They will hook it up. They did it really well as well. Sorry, I'm getting this wire set up. What's going on here with this? There we go. That should help. They did a really good job, and they were really quick as well. 3 orbs. There's 4 orbs, guys. 4 orbs. So somebody also asked, what was that in the beginning that we watched? So I've actually got so many songs now that I have to categorize them. So I'm probably going to spend tomorrow making sure that I got all the songs. And then maybe tomorrow's stream, I'll go over all the songs. And if I missed any that people produce that are out there, they can send them to me. I did just upload 4 more songs to my list here. There's a lot of songs, guys. But I appreciate everybody putting the songs together there. Damn, dude, he's wearing a wire. Yeah, I'm wearing a wire, guys. Jesus is king, Taylor says. Okay, so what are we going to do tonight? We're going to do a chill science stream tonight. So I'll answer questions tonight in the chat. I'm going to pull up some science stuff. We're going to review it together. So that part might be a little bit boring, but you can ask me questions while we go, which will keep it kind of fun. Maybe I'll throw in some music here and there throughout the night as well. We're only going to go for a little bit over an hour probably, so it's going to be a little bit short tonight. I've just had a lot of stuff going on in the background. If you guys have been watching the interviews that I've been doing, I've been talking a lot about free energy. You can probably have some idea of the stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes, but it's just getting busier and busier and busier, guys. I do want to try to commercialize free energy. So I'll address that first and foremost. A lot of people have been saying, hey, Ashton, you should, I solicited ideas. Like, how do we get free energy to the world that are out there? A lot of people were like, well, you should put it on the blockchain. You should make it available for everybody. The reality is that's not going to be an option. The people that know how to do this stuff related to free energy aren't giving away their services for free. But I don't think that's okay because, free market, that's how free markets work. Everything costs money in this world. But there are benefits. So what are the benefits of free energy? And what does free energy mean? Free energy means the ability to extract unlimited energy from the ether, which is this idea of a device that you can plug in, or you just have to get it started somehow. And once you get it started, it outputs more energy than what it takes to run. That's over unity. That's coefficient of performance greater than 1. I like to call it free energy, although it's a bit of a misnomer. And so then you can feed that energy back into the system. You can unplug it, and then it'll just keep running, producing energy. Now, the benefits, okay? Obviously, this still costs money to produce. In fact, it's not going to be cheap as far as I can tell. The materials and the labor is very expensive. But the benefits are no dependency upon government-run energy systems. So almost all the power systems out there have ties to the local municipalities, government. So you would be able to be off the grid. I mean, you could literally have a house in the middle of the forest with no power lines going to you, and you could run it. Now, you'd probably have to have some kind of satellite wireless if you want Wi-Fi, but you could still, if you don't care about Wi-Fi, you could literally just run your house in the middle of nowhere, which is pretty cool. The other benefit is no pollution. The thing I love about this is that you have the libertarian side or the right-wing side that want to, small government, they get what they want. And then the people on the other side that are like the tree huggers or whatever, if you're somebody who likes green energy, that's another thing that this type of a device would be able to provide for you. And then the third side of it is that it potentially can actually save you money. I mean, over the long run. So even if something costs a lot up front, you could save money, especially because you don't have any electric bills anymore. And if you change your heating to go from natural gas or some of the other heating options, and you go to electric heating, now you have potentially no no energy bills whatsoever. Some people were saying that even in the summertime, their energy bills are like $700 for air conditioning and heating per month. So you just add that up, like you're already at like, I don't know, $5,000 to $6,000 a year just for energy. That's a lot. That's a lot. So you imagine that, like, if there's a device where it pays it off in just a couple years, like that's pretty similar to the idea of moving from like a gas-powered car to an electric car, where electricity still costs money for your electric car. It just costs a lot less money than a fossil fuel run engine, a gasoline run engine. So that's how people should be thinking about this business concept. Obviously, very early stages. I'm just trying to figure out how this would work and if it even can work. I do imagine that if this does work, that there'll be quite a lot of people. I think the demand will be pretty significant for people that want it for the 3 reasons I just listed. And this is just all hypothetical, right? All hypothetical. We're just speaking hypothetically here. Would be that, if this becomes a real business, then people could invest in the business. People could actually put money in the business for over Unity devices, and then you could get a return on that investment if the stock value of the company goes up. So I think it's something that's really exciting, because no matter where you are economically in your life, it could be something that you are involved in, or that you are just promoting that you want, because you want to change the world. Like I want to change the world. Like my main motivation is I want to change the world. But the reality too is that I understand business, I understand economics, and that's how a lot of this stuff works. So somebody is probably, I don't know where the questions are, but somebody might going to ask like about patents and stuff like that. Yes, most likely. I don't know how the patent stuff works with like free energy devices, so I'm not really sure on that. But it would be proprietary information. So it's not going to be information where it's going to get put on the blockchain. Now, that may disappoint people. I've had a lot of people say the only way you can do this is putting it on the blockchain. And I say to those people, you do it however you want to do it, and I'll do it however I want to do it. And I root for you just as much as I'm rooting for me. I just want to get the information out there now, however it gets out there. My view, my dream is that we create an industry. And once you create an industry, there's no going back anymore. And once the information's out there, it's gonna build up and up and up and up. So I don't know. We will see. We will see where this leads. Step 1 is finding a device that can be proven to work. And then step 2 is building a business model around it. And then step 3 is probably getting it out to people who want to buy it, early adopters and influencers. So I don't know. That's just what's going around in my head all the time. But yes, it would be proprietary information that's not going to be out on the blockchain or whatever. Some people say, well, that's how you get killed. I don't know, man. I think you get killed no matter what. So we'll see. I'm just hoping to live long enough, chat. I'm hoping to live long enough, man. We're pushing the limit. And yeah, we are like, just think of what we're doing here. You're going to get scammed, you think? Yeah, well, we'll see, man. Place your bets if you want. Place your bets. If you think that's going to be the case, then we'll see. And if not, then, there's a lot to gain and very little to lose. So we'll see. When I have more to say on that front, I will tell you for sure. But for now, I can't say much more. But I think, as I said in a different one, how am I going to build this? Is good. How are you going to build an over Unity device if you need help to have your dad to put the sign on the wall? Great question, guys. Great question. I think you can figure that out. I'm a business-minded guy. I can't say more at this point. When I do have more to discuss, I will definitely bring it up. You guys can tell how sensitive a lot of this stuff is. And when it comes to business ventures, you have to keep it under wraps until it's really official. So not much more I can say on that front. One other thing, just hypothetically on the free energy front, is that I do imagine a world where the costs come down, and there are other ways too, right? Where like if you are a business and you're trying to power an entire building, like that can spread the cost around. Or if you're in like an apartment complex, like your apartment complex might want to buy a device and they can power like the whole apartment complex. So we should think outside the box in terms of like marketing and business aspects related to it. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm not doing any scammy crypto coins. I'll guarantee you that. Nothing like that, chat. You would win an instant Nobel Prize if you could prove a free energy device. I doubt it. Thomas Bearden didn't win a Nobel Prize, and he deserves it. And that's what we're going to dig into next on our science stream, guys. What are your thoughts on the 2 individuals with stolen passports? So this is a great question, guys. What are your thoughts on the 2 individuals with stolen passports? There were 2 people that had fake passports, stolen passports, that had changed their appearance to look like the people on the passports on MH370. And this was, if you go back to my confessionals podcast, the very first in-person one that I did, I talk about that this is like one of the aspects that made me think it was espionage, because you would need operatives on board the plane. You would want some people on board the plane to make sure everything goes down right. And this was like the biggest factor that had me thinking there's an espionage angle here. I was thinking that it was espionage way before, like, I don't even know if I had found out about the satellite pictures from China at that point. Maybe I did, maybe not. But that's why I wasn't sure early on if it was like a UFO event or an espionage event. It turns out it's a mixture of both. It's potentially a mixture of both, because I didn't even realize that could be our orbs back then. So the thing I love about doing all these podcasts is you can watch the evolution of my understanding of the science and my understanding of the case evolve over time, which I think in the future it would make like a really great movie. Cypher, yeah, people are already excited about this. I love it. Did the TTSA try to do a free energy thing? I'll tell you this. I'm not scamming anybody. That's not the kind of person that I am. If I am selling a over Unity device, then that means that I have seen it firsthand. I am not falling for any scam bullshit around it. And I've already explained to you what the device has to do. So if I'm selling it, then it's going to do that. And most likely there would have to be a lot of like, basically the podcast I was just on that you guys can see, it's going to get dropped like tomorrow. I talk about this, but like there would probably have to be like a mattress tag kind of situation where it's like, you can't tamper with this device. And if you misuse it, then all liability falls onto you, because I don't want people messing with the device and then claiming it doesn't work, or, you know, because that's what they'll do, right? They'll tinker with the device, they'll break it, they'll claim it doesn't work, or they'll claim it's giving them cancer or some bullshit like that. So early on, most likely, like all risk would fall to the person who's using it, because that's the only way this can work. As time goes on, then we can work through what kind of protections people have, stuff like that. And I would obviously make sure that it's safe before that. I'm not trying to sell anything that's going to give somebody cancer. Just heads up. I don't want to do that either. So the only thing I would ever try to sell out there is something that truly works the way I've described, and can produce power for your whole house with just a box, like a generator that doesn't run on anything. No fuel, no gas, no diesel. You know, I think that would be pretty sweet, man. Let me know when you decide on a ticker symbol. Yeah, we'll do, guys. Have I been following Terrence Howard's theory? Yeah, everybody asks me. This is like the number one question I get these days is about Terrence Howard. And I think he's a really smart guy. I don't necessarily agree with him on everything. I think he's similar to me, where he doesn't have a background in science and he's seen stuff and he knows that our current understanding of physics is not quite correct. I absolutely agree with him when it comes to the ether. I thought it was awesome when he brought up Michelson-Morley, and I'm like, wait, that's what I had just brought up. So Michelson-Morley, the ether is real for sure. Phase conjugation as well is also real. He's not using it the same way I'm using it, but it's the same idea. Phase conjugation, having the waves make love. And I don't think he dropped anything about scalar physics, but maybe he did. The stuff I don't agree with the numerology stuff, like 1 × 1 = 2. I don't agree with that. That's just because conceptually, you know, you can understand multiplication tables. The sacred geometry stuff, as well as the periodic table stuff, I'm not really sure. It kind of goes over my head. So that's my opinions on Terrence Howard, but I do think he's really smart for sure. I also think that he opened himself up to a lot of criticism, because he went all in on the periodic table thing and the resonances and all that stuff. he opened himself up to scrutiny. And you saw that was the vector of attack of everybody that said he was full of shit. They all attacked that. Very few of them. I haven't seen anybody attack him on the idea of the ether or the Michelson-Morley thing either. And we showed the JW Sawtooth counter argument that shows that Michelson-Morley is not irrefutable at all. So pretty wild, man. Let's see. Okay, what else we got in the question? Yeah, the Iranians are the ones that were the ones with the fake passports. And it's super weird that those people were ignored early on the MH370 thing. Like, these people were just dismissed, and the cover story for why they dismissed them makes no sense at all. They're like, oh, they were just refugees trying to get to Amsterdam. And you're like, wait, but they were going to Beijing. Like, if you're trying to flee somewhere, you want the least number of hops. And you certainly don't want to go through a communist country like China on a stolen passport. So the whole Iranian refugee thing made no sense whatsoever to me. So yeah, I don't know. When it comes to the Iranian stuff and those fake passengers, there's something weird about that for sure. Salvatore Pais already has patents with the Air Force for this technology. Yeah, I've talked to him twice. So if you don't know that I've talked to Salvatore Pais multiple times, you probably should check out the Hard Truths podcasts on my YouTube channel immediately. Immediately, especially now that you understand the science more from what we've been disclosing. So the people that are upset about my plans for over Unity as well, here is the counter. I'm literally telling you how the science works. I've reviewed videos that go over how over Unity devices work. If you are expecting someone to show you exactly how the iPhone works, well, I'm not that guy. I apologize for that. I'm not that guy. That's never going to happen. If you want a device that runs free energy, well, then I'm potentially that guy. I will tell you as much about the theory as I can tell you, and it's for you to take it from there. If you want to be the person that shows somebody, figures out how to make an over Unity device, and you want to give it away for free to the world, by all means, go nuts. I'm not going to stop you. But that's not my plan, because I understand how economics and business works. What else we got? Yeah, a lot of people didn't even know about the Iranians with fake passports. Maybe I'll pull those people up. Because there's this famous picture out there. Yeah, here it is. And, okay, let me see. And then we'll get into the science, guys, for tonight. Although it's cool. We're just doing a chill stream tonight. So this picture right here is, so people freaked out because this picture here, the one on the left, they photoshopped this guy's legs on the right onto the guy's legs on the left, and everybody freaked out about it. But it's totally insignificant. Like, this was the weirdest thing. Back then, everybody was freaking out because they're like, oh, they photoshopped him. They photoshopped it. So what? It's just they moved the guy's legs on the right to the guy's legs on the left. This makes no difference whatsoever. No difference whatsoever. And that you can see this as the passport or whatever. This is the only image that matters right here. You can tell this guy on the right looks just like the passport, the stolen passport. They knew each other too. They were traveling together. Two people with stolen passports traveling together. And one last statement on this. So Michael and some other people are probably very skeptical. They think it's a scam. What I will tell you is that I already know beyond any reasonable doubt that it's not a scam. Okay. I'm going to level with you. I always tell you guys the truth. I already know it's not a scam. I'm not going to say how I know, but I already know. When I see it with my own eyes, I will probably tell you guys that I've seen it with my own eyes. Okay. So good news is none of you guys have anything invested into it. So if I get scammed, it's all 100% on me. So don't worry about that part. I don't like when people concern troll me. So like if you've followed along when I literally did get scammed, or with the letter to Ashton Forbes, everybody wants to give their opinion on how it's fake or whatever. I don't care about your concern trolling. Save it for somewhere else. Okay. So this is the passport thing. And then somebody asked about the fractal, the banking thing. So you guys, even if you have free energy, keep in mind, nothing's free. So the devices cost a lot of money to make. So, this is where people say, well, how does gas powered cars still exist in a world where we have electric cars? Well, because there's a cost-benefit trade-off. Now, over time, energy will get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And then, yes, you'll have a situation where energy becomes very, very cheap, but that's not going to stop it. That's not going to break down all the economy. It will disrupt it. It's not going to completely make it obsolete. This is where a lot of people think that the whole economy is going to fail. No, it's not going to fail. No chance of that, guys. They wouldn't let it fail either. They would take me out way before that. So Bernie is in the chat. Thank you, Bernie. Crypto Alchemist says, I just did a stream covering the Walter Russell periodic tables. Yeah, that I haven't looked into that yet. People have linked that to me, so I may take a look at that next few days, but we're not sure. Oh, and this is a great one too. So this is one of the big pieces of misinformation that's out there about the Jacob Rothschild inheriting the patents. This is actually not true. The people that were the patent signers on that patent were not even on the plane, and that's not how patents work anyway. The company would have owned the patents. But there is, I think, what is it? The Carlyle Group actually did invest in Freescale. So there actually is some sketchiness. And Freescale, the engineers on board this plane, this fake conspiracy theory argued that there was 4 people with a patent. So none of those people were really on the plane. That's misinformation. But there was 20 people from this company on the plane, which is actually bigger, even crazier. 20 people from that company were on the plane. And they were tied to like aerospace and defense and like advanced technology and advanced semiconductors and microchips. So like those are definitely the motive. And that's why it makes me wonder if like that didn't get pushed on the internet as intentional disinformation to distract from the real motive, which was the 20 Freescale semiconductor engineers, where 8 of them were literally Chinese nationals. That sticks out like a sore thumb on board that plane, guys. And they probably will end up taxing free energy if it were to become a legitimate business model. I totally see that happening. Chaotic Good, it says she's good. She's a resourceful lady or handy lady. Yep, appreciate it. And this is the other thing too I want to say, guys. If I am able to start a real company around over Unity devices, I want to help give back to the community. If that's allowing people to invest, if that is selling devices to people, if that is hiring people who have skill sets that want to be part of this, those are things that I absolutely want to be able to do. No promises, of course. All businesses are risky. Most businesses fail. That's the truth. That's what you learn in business school. But this it feels like an opportunity right now. Just because we've got the following, we know the devices are possible. We've looked into them. Having connections to people that might be able to produce them, everything coming together like this. And this is a movement too. Like it feels very similar to when Tesla came up and everybody wanted Tesla to be a thing because they wanted electric cars to be a thing. It feels a lot like that to me, which is awesome. And once again, there's no scamming or grifting because all the risk is on me. All the risk is on me. No one's going to get sold a device that doesn't work. First step is finding a device that works. What I will say is this: I have had multiple people reach out that are interested in this model, and that's all I can say for right now. So more to come if when I get to something where I can announce it or have something a little more tangible. If this technology is potentially planet-ending powerful, how can it be put in public knowledge? That's a great question. That is a great question. There's always going to be risk associated with it in general. At the end of the day, it's up to us to decide what we do with this universe and what we do with this world. We would have to put in safeguards. I already have it on pretty good authority that the government can already detect gravitational waves. So if anybody is trying to produce a weapon of mass destruction in the United States, my guess is they would get a knock on the door before they even realized it. So I'm not too worried about that angle. I don't think that the devices that I would be putting out there to market would be ones where you're going to destroy the whole planet. You would have to tinker with it, change it around, turn it into something that it's not meant to be. But good question. Yeah. So have I heard about the NASA guy? That's Charles Bueller. So what he developed was like a form of EM drive, electromagnetic drive. Is that what it is? I think it's electromagnetic drive. And that's a little bit different than everything else we've been pushing, but it's another concept. It's like pushing off the vacuum, pushing off of the ether. And that's another valid method of propulsion, but it's more like Star Trek impulse drive. That's like the lowest level of gravity manipulation. The next level would be warp drive, where we're seeing like pulling space around you to pull yourself forward, like we see with the orbs, where they're like literally pulling themselves forward. And then the next level beyond that is like macroscopic phase conjugation and wormholes, which is the idea of literally making a wormhole between 2 points, right? Like this, like a wormhole puncturing through. Or the idea where you can like literally revert matter down to energy and then back to matter again. Fermion to boson to fermion. Pretty crazy. I mean, all of these ideas to me like mean 100% we live in a holographic universe, holographic principle. That to me, that's the only answer any of this makes any damn sense. You want to call it a simulation, call it a simulation, but I'm going with holographic principle. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Oh, also, I'm in talks to potentially get on with, is it Red Pill? I don't know. I may be adding another streaming venue. I've had some people reach out to me about joining different streaming services, and I am looking into that in general, just in case, like, I don't know, if this whole business thing starts up, then I don't know. My old job's probably going to go away. I really don't know. Everything's so crazy in flux right now. That's why I'm so busy, guys. So that's why I haven't been able to keep up with DMs or Discord or a lot of stuff. Oh, Ohio Gaming dyed your hair tonight. Awesome. Blonde as F. Awesome. I'm going to guess you're a woman just because it's not very common for guys to dye their hair blonde, but maybe. Yeah, like JK Philly says, don't you think that the government want to tax you? Yeah, it's hard to tax a free energy device though, right? Pretty hard. They might do something like property tax. It's going to be tough though, you know? Oh, do I think the government will use this to do a Project Bluebeam? So good news, all the people that think aliens are fake. I am already 100% against the Project Bluebeam bullshit. So it would not surprise me if their plan literally was to use this technology to try to convince the world there was an alien invasion. Can you imagine like 100 of these orbs coming down from the sky? People would literally think there's an alien invasion. And I'm going to be the guy going, nah, that's our tech. Nope, don't freak out. That's us. That's United States government tech, 100%. I can actually see Project Bluebeam bullshit actually happening. And I think we just blew up their whole plan for Project Bluebeam. Like just the fact that I'm out here saying it's our technology, like, and waking people up to this, that we could have this kind of technology, destroys the brainwashing that they could put into place on people. That might have been a real plan. Like that's wild. I have not been threatened by anybody in the government. Just a heads up. This is an interesting thought. What if the Iranians hijacked the plane and then we zapped it away? It's not really an angle I had thought about, but yeah, honestly, if the government's out there and they're looking for a cover story, this is a good cover story right here. Say that the Iranians hijacked the plane and they started the fire, and then we were saving the plane, and maybe like I would say, like honestly, CIA, if you're listening to CIA, this is a good cover story. I mean, do I think that happened? No. I think 100% we stole the plane, but this would be a good cover story. You say like, oh no, the Iranian terrorists hijacked the plane and then we saved it with our orbs, but something went wrong and they all, perished or something like that. Like that's a pretty smart narrative. I hope the CIA is listening. That's a smart ass narrative. I don't know if this for sale is about the devices. Yeah. I'm not going to dig more into the over Unity stuff, but there'll be more to come potentially. More to come on that. Yeah, the grid can't handle everyone going electric, which is another reason why over Unity devices solve all of that problem too, guys. I'm probably like way behind on messages here. I'm going to go ahead and go down. Hermes wants to be my Asian pool boy. Don't worry, Hermes. I think we got a spot for you, my man. You guys crack me up. Hey, Heather Birdie, nice to have you here as well. I'm going to go down to, I'm like probably 1,000 comments behind, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit. What does holographic reality mean? Great question, guys. More to come on that. I don't know anymore. If we can take energy, or if we can take matter and convert it to energy and then return it back to matter, to me, that means like our reality is like a computer game, a computer simulation that's being played out. Because we're literally just like cheating, like cheat codes, like literal cheat codes. But does it mean life is any different, any less worth living? No. I think life is worth living no matter what. Life is awesome, guys. If we can make over Unity devices and have Star Trek level shit going on, life is going to be fucking sweet. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, whoever came up with that narrative, by the way, you just gave the CIA like a nice out right there. You really did. Man, Obama's like, oh shit, that dude Ashton, somebody in his live stream just gave us the out, guys. Quick, form the narrative. Tell all the media this is what we're gonna do. The Iranians stole the plane. We were saving it, and we orbed it to safety, but something went wrong, and that's why we had to make this cover story. Like that. Such a good ass narrative. Honestly, really good narrative. Blame the random Iranians. Honestly, people will believe that. I might believe it. Honestly, it's a really good narrative. The Philip Wood texting thing, I don't talk about that much because it's hard to wrap your brain. First thing I want to say is he didn't put his phone up his ass. Okay, he just put it in his underwear or something. Like this is where like the story gets changed around. We're like, it can't be real because he couldn't have jammed his iPhone up his ass. It's like, well, he didn't put it up his ass. He just like put it in his underwear or hid it in his butt cheeks or something. Right? That's just somewhere where they didn't find it. That part I have no problem with. The part I struggle with is like, why didn't he call his girlfriend or something? Like, or anything other than posting on 4chan. That's like the only thing I struggle with. Now, I get why you wouldn't post on 4chan because Reddit's garbage and Twitter back then was garbage as well. But posting on 4chan just seems bizarre. I would text message people that could help me. Now, maybe he did, and that's just been suppressed. I don't know. Post a video showing how the orbs made a sphere around the plane. Maybe. Guys, I have to organize my videos, man. I have too many. I don't remember what it was called. I'll probably save that for next time. But I do have those videos actually. It's called like orb movement or something. Sorry, I'm looking to see if I have it. I don't see it right off my search, and I have like thousands of videos now, so it's going to probably take me a while to find this orb video thing. But there are models that show the orb's movements around the plane, which is it's pretty damn cool, honestly. I like them a lot. I'm looking to see if I can find them quickly. Yeah, I can't find them. Sorry, guys. Okay, any other questions? If I get disappeared, I mean, just move on with your life, I guess. Or you want to pick up the slack where I left off. Everything's made publicly available. And, one of you can be the next me for sure if you want. Upcoming podcast, Martin Gibson. He's probably upset because I recorded it like 6 weeks ago and I still haven't posted it because I was going to make some edits to remove some of the pauses. So that'll be the next one. After that, I'm trying to talk to Tim Ventura, Dr. Brandenburg, a few other people as well. I've been wiped out, guys. I've just been doing too much stuff at once. Okay, I think I answered most of the questions there. Oh, did Skyfire Space end? Forget what they were talking about today. Hey, Ace, thank you very much. Oh, let's get to these donations. Stay safe. Thank you. Appreciate it, sir. Let's heat it for garlic olives. Garlic olives. Oh, no. Blue cheese. I mean, if you like garlic olives, go nuts. Deep Space Nine was a great Star Trek. Yeah, that was really great, honestly. Deep Space Nine was probably... It's pretty close. Star Trek Next Generation is a little bit higher than it, but Deep Space Nine is like way up there next to it. I was a big Trekkie when I was young. I mean, I didn't go to conventions and shit like that, but I've seen every episode of Deep Space Nine, every episode of Next Generation. I've seen every episode of Next Generation multiple times, actually. Okay, you guys ready for some science? Let's do a little bit of science tonight. Ashton going to business with the 4 orbs that kidnapped the plane. No, I don't think so. Guys. I think I would be a white hat, though. If I got signed up with the government, I would probably try to be a white hat. Do I think Carl Nell is telling the truth? Yeah, probably. I think just if you don't know, recently he was talking about, I don't know, what was it? Aliens exist or something and all this other stuff. I don't know. I think those guys are probably telling the truth as they know it. But to me, like, there's so much non-human intelligence can be so many different things that the more I learn about this technology, the less sure I am. Like, it could be that aliens are all just a big psyop and there's nothing. It could be that there's future humans. It could be that there's ultra terrestrials hiding in the oceans or under the earth. Like, I really don't know, man. I really don't know. You don't need to take a bullet for me, but that's very nice of you to say. I appreciate it, guys. People say Ashton get a gun. Everybody, you guys crack me up, man. I do appreciate it because it is like there's a non-zero chance that like something will happen to me, but whatever. I'm not too worried about it. I'm more worried about like the psychopaths on the internet and like their crazy stuff that they're coming up with. Like, just like there's like a full disinformation apparatus like trying to discredit me. It's so funny to watch it go down. You never think, as you're a normal person, you would never think that you have like these psychopaths on the internet like inventing fake shit about you and all these fake narratives and all this stuff. And I have like maybe 3 or 4 full-time employees, like full-time, just trying to edit stuff, come up with fake ways to like defame me and come up with different ways to discredit me. It's just like, it's actually funny, man. I'm like, what did I do to deserve all this? It cracks me up, man. The crime that I committed in these people's minds is like, I blocked them. It's like, of course I blocked you. You're psychopaths. You're like literal psychopaths. It's just too funny. So for that crime of blocking people, I deserve having everything I've ever said taken out of context, have people trying to trifle through my entire life and figure anything they can to defame me and try to claim that I'm a grifter or stealing money from people. It's like, holy shit, man. People are insane. Those are the people I'm more afraid of, way more afraid of than the government. Like, one of those people is going to like do something because like they're that bonkers, man. They're just disconnected from reality. Okay, so let's look. Speaking of which, let's look at a couple of Twitter posts real quick, and then we've been going for already a little bit. I want to make sure we get to the science. Can I make this smaller? There we go. Oh, that's how you can make the message thing go away. Damn, chat. This whole time I could have just made the window smaller and then the whole message thing goes away. I would have never have revealed DMs. Well, whoopsie. So yeah, this interview should drop tomorrow, I think. I don't know. Whenever this is going to drop. Elevator Charles, good interview. Check it out if you're interested. We talk about the debunks as well. Fun story. The other person I was with, was it Mike? Mike, right? God, if it's not Mike, I'm gonna feel bad. I know it starts with Mike. I had him blocked, actually. I don't know if he had like said something and got blocked, but I unblocked him. Because people deserve a second chance if they were, skeptical and whatever, figured it out. Somebody must have retweeted my thing to have 53,000 views on this. Weird. Okay, so I'm gonna ignore some of that stuff. Oh, okay. Let's do this real quick, guys. Dude, so this is the debunkers. Like, why is Mick West still coming at me? Still coming at me. This guy, we've broken this guy, man. We broke Mick West, dude. Literally broke this guy, man. And he's retweeting T. Powell. This is the nut job that's like paying thousands of dollars to promote fake shit. And then I saw this post and I was like, wait, this is what this guy's claims are? Like, I've had him blocked, so I haven't even been able to see the bullshit this guy spews. But people tell me that he spews a lot of bullshit and talks about me like 24/7 every single day, which is just cuckoo. You need to stop obsessing, my dude. And then this guy, who is this guy? So people tag me in this stuff, and then I see the tag, and then I find stuff like this, and I'm like, Simon Fly. This toxic individual is a self-promoting narcissist, grifting, delusional, fantasticist moron. Anyone giving him a platform to spew his unproven nonsense for clicks and views needs to have a hard look at themselves. He's a vitriolic moron. How can you take yourself seriously, dude? Like, do these people have no sense of irony? It's like they have no sense of irony at all. This is like one sentence, too. He uses the word moron twice in the same sentence. Like, this is just straight up, like, how fucked in the head do you have to be to make a post like this? Like, I can't imagine getting this angry. How do you get this angry at somebody that you have no connection with, you have no idea who they are? How do you get this angry, chat? I don't get it. I guess, like, are these people just, like, have nothing going on in their lives? I can't imagine ever making a post like this about somebody in my whole life. I can never imagine making a post like this about somebody. What did I do? Like, kick your dog? Like, this is the, like, I just don't get it. Are they so mad, dude? Why are they so mad? Or this guy. So this guy, this is all today, by the way. Like, this is all today, except for maybe T. Powell's post was probably an old post. This guy snuck into this PhD lady, very nice lady, research by. She had followed me. I've seen some of her stuff. And he's tagging me, this Kenji guy. This guy's off his fucking rocker. This is a random post that this woman put up that has nothing to do with me at all. And he starts talking about me. Ashton is transparently evil. Evil? What? What is wrong with these people? I really don't understand it. It is wild, man. Some of these people, and like, he did like it's a 4-part post he made here as well. And she's like, "Can you just leave my thread?" Like, this is like what you tell the psycho person who comes into the Burger King ranting about, how his neighbor like made dug up his lawn or something. Like, can you just go somewhere else? Or this is a Wendy's. We don't want to hear this. Like, what the hell? It does reek of desperation, right? It really reeks of desperation. Like, it feels like these people realize the gig is up, and like and then they're just screwed, and they're just melting down. It's so wild. So I decided. So I took Lulu for a walk. So I'm out on a walk, and don't worry, we'll get to the science in just a minute. I took Lulu for a walk, and I'm like, you know what? I read this post, and I'm like, because I had never seen this. Because, like, yeah, like this guy says, I've had him blocked for like 6 months, and he's not getting unblocked. Not in this world, not in this life. And I was like, wait, I can refute all these arguments like while I'm on a walk with my dog, while on my phone, like just on my phone. I'm like, I can refute all of these within like 5 minutes. Like, this is like, look what his claims are. We know the U.S. knows what happened in the plane. Not in the slightest. The videos are fake. That doesn't even really address the claim, but okay. And then we found a mountain of evidence for the fire emergency event. Yeah, we did. We have like a witness. We have the batteries. We have actually 19 witnesses that corroborate it. The flight path corroborates it. Some circumstantial evidence, but Inmarsat data suggests the plane kept flying for a long time. And debris washing off the Reunion Island suggests the plane did crash. This is all false. And then after the next one, we prove that the science is real. Zero evidence of teleportation of even quantum particles. Like, does this guy not know that quantum teleportation is actually real? Like, there's actually records for quantum teleportation. So I'm reading this and I'm like, is this guy just complete idiot? Like, is this guy just a complete moron? And then the last one, we found the leaker, Edward C. Lin. Edward C. Lin was convicted of espionage completely unrelated to these fake videos. Ashton is trying to fully exonerate the convicted spy. So first of all, he wasn't convicted. He took a plea deal. Second of all, he definitely wasn't convicted of espionage. The government had to admit that it was nothing related to it. So this is how easy, this is how dumb the debunkers are. Like, I'm honestly embarrassed for the debunkers because they're not sending their best, right? If this is the best that they've got, this guy's a complete moron. Like, I would be surprised if this guy passed high school, let alone even went to college. Because, like, his arguments are terrible. So first of all, the videos are real. There's no hoaxer. No one came forward for $150,000. The list of requirements rules out anybody except for the government themselves. And the perfection and complexity of the videos are completely impractical given the short time frame in which they appeared, which includes requiring a 3D rendered environment. Right? That's the baseline. If the debunkers can't even admit it requires a 3D rendered environment, then we're just not even dealing in facts. Right? We got 2 videos from different angles. We got 3D lighting. We got clouds matching up. We have literally real clouds in both videos that are volumetric with 3D dynamic parallax. It's wild. So the second one was the Inmarsat pings. I literally proved earlier today. I showed a scientific paper from Nature that proves beyond any doubt that there's no acoustic detections anywhere near the 7th arc. which proves conclusively that the Inmarsat pings are wrong. There's no other interpretation. The Inmarsat pings are wrong, which shouldn't surprise anybody. We found literally nothing. The longest, most expensive search in history searched all up and down the 7th arc, and they found nothing. Like, you just basic common sense. This is what blows me away. It's like most people, it seems like a lot of people, like 50% of people out there, like especially all the debunkers, they have no common sense whatsoever. No, just basic critical thinking. No acoustic detections for a 777. And before anyone asks, the scientific paper literally does the math to find out the exact energy that would have been released from the plane crashing into the ocean, and confirm beyond any doubt that the acoustic detectors would have heard it. So we know the plane didn't crash in the 7th arc. Also, the debris as well. The debris that they mentioned contradicts the location. The debris should have drifted and washed ashore in Africa or in Australia, not in Africa. You can just go look at the like if this guy had just done like Google ocean currents, he would have just seen that the ocean currents flow to the east. Like, I have it linked down here at the bottom, I think, right? No, it's somewhere else I have it linked, but the ocean currents flow to the east. So the debris actually rules out the 7th arc. The fact that we found no debris rules out the 7th arc, and the Inmarsat or the acoustic detections rule it out. So we know that the Inmarsat pings are false. There's no arguing against it. We know they're false. So if the debunkers want to counter that, I'd love to hear a counter argument. And then teleportation, there's records for teleportation. Energy and information have been teleported. Recently on May 2nd, there was an article, you guys can Google it yourself, near perfect quantum teleportation, where they were actually even able to teleport stuff in the presence of noise. So normally with entanglement, it has to be like no one can even look at it, because even looking at it can break down the entanglement. But now they're actually like looking at teleportation with noise going on in the background. So pretty wild. And then the last one, Edward C. Lin was not convicted of espionage. He pled guilty to mishandling classified information and disclosing secret information to a colleague or to a friend. The government literally had to admit that there was no evidence that he was a spy, that he exchanged any information with anyone from China. So every single thing this guy said was false. Every single thing. And also Edward C. Lin got a 9-year sentence, extremely disproportionate. The military had to testify that what he leaked was so dangerous because the public available information for what he leaked was like completely mundane. So they had to have people testify. And then the lawyer argued it's available on the internet. So this is why it's just kind of a waste for me to like even debate against debunkers. They're total morons. And nothing they say is factual. Everything that they say is just opinions. They don't even list any facts ever. And when they do list facts, they're always wrong. They're always just wrong. They're just, and that's what when you say something's a fact and it's not, that's called a lie. That's what lying is. So technically, by the technical definition, the debunkers are liars. So I don't know. I don't know why it's like a whole thing. Anyway, I really do hope Mick West admits he's wrong and apologizes, because he's pushing misinformation here. It took me 5 minutes to refute this while I was taking my dog for a walk. That's how pathetic these people are. And of course, Mick West is pushing disinformation and misinformation, because that's really what he is. Mick West is just a literal disinformation artist and a complete fucking idiot. Like, I literally do not think that Mick West would actually be able to pass a high school physics test. Like, I literally don't think he could. And he definitely can't even pass a spelling test. Dude can't even spell my name right. It's only got 6 letters. He can't even spell my name right. Dude is a complete moron. Oh, here's the map, guys. So here's the map. I mean, just look at the ocean currents. They flow east, man. They flow east. They don't flow west here. They flow east. The debris should have washed up in Western Australia. Like, this isn't rocket science. The Inmarsat pings stop at the exact same moment where the plane goes into the South Indian Ocean, like up here where my mouse is. This is where the Inmarsat pings completely change right here. We're supposed to believe that this 10 rows of data right here is like completely what? Nothing. We can fake perfect videos, but we can't fake 10 rows on an Excel spreadsheet. Come on, guys. And then the idea that the debris doesn't even prove... Yeah, you just got banned. The debris doesn't even prove that the plane crashed. The debris doesn't even prove that the plane crashed. This tiny little pieces of debris prove that there was a plane crash? This is not even 1% of the plane. This is nothing. So I don't know why people think that three pieces of tiny pieces of debris qualify as proving that a plane crashed. That's pretty wild to me, guys. People just need to look at this. Is CNN? This is CNN for the CNN brains. And if you think these yellow pieces are part of the plane, well, then you got to explain how an engine cowling, like the edge of the engine, washes up 3,000 miles away in South Africa. You got to explain that one. And then here's the scientific paper. You can see right top, nature.com. Have you guys heard of that one? Nature.com. Therefore, it is highly unlikely for MH370 to have crashed near the seventh arc without leaving a discernible acoustic signature. I highlighted it for them. This is a scientific paper. There's the math here. This also goes through all the math about the joules of energy that would have been created. The resulting energy release would be 89 millijoules, equivalent of 21 kilograms of TNT, or an earthquake of magnitude 2.1. Guys, we just don't think that the SOSA system heard an earthquake of 2.1. So anyway, proved it. Okay, guys. Yeah, the education system has failed a lot of people. You guys ready for some science? Yeah, the barnacles also. So first of all, the barnacles were on the area. So they did this test, and they have this flapper on sticking out of the water like this. And they go, okay, this proves it. This proves that the wind would have blown it to the Reunion Island. Well, the problem is there's barnacles all up about the part that's out of the water. So that's impossible. That means the thing had to be submerged. If it was submerged, it couldn't have drifted. And then they measured the barnacle growth on it, the barnacles on it, and it's only got 4 months of barnacle growth, which isn't enough for it to have drifted there. So literally, like, these are all facts, by the way. Like, I don't know. Factually, the plane didn't crash in the South Indian Ocean. Okay, science time. Okay, we're going to do a couple science. I can't find my quantum counterfactual teleportation. Where is it? I bet it has some weird name, and that's the reason why I can't find it. Oh, is this it right here? No. Shit. Is this it? Nope. Sorry, I'm looking for counterfactual teleportation. We might go back to that one. Oh, is this it? Yes! Chat, I've been looking for this counterfactual teleportation link. You guys have no idea how many hyperlinks I have up. I have like 100 websites up in the background. Ashton Forbes, do you discuss the uninterruptible remote control? I did read all of Captain Dan Hanley's report on the uninterruptible Boeing autopilot. It does seem like that could be a factor at play. There's no way to prove it. I have no idea how to prove it. But if we can teleport an airplane, we can certainly remote control an airplane. There's no doubt whatsoever. How did it get teleported? Well, the orbs are doing the teleporting. I think that what we see in the video is a wormhole. So while I get this up in the background, I will play the videos for you guys. I'll play the drone video so you guys can watch for yourself while I'm getting this up. What you're going to see here seems to be the first ever publicly available wormhole. Oh, this is a good quote. Ugly American 09. I can prove Critchley's reticle hoax argument wrong, by the way. I studied geospace intelligence, satellite imagery, and remote sensing LiDAR. It's an artifact in the sensor of the camera. Can show you many drone gun camera examples where the reticle appears behind the object. Yeah, we've already kind of figured that out. The debunkers haven't admitted they were wrong yet about that. But you're like the fifth person to corroborate that information. And of course, that was the reason anyway, because the videos are real. So I do hope that Critchley issues a retraction on that because she got caught in a lie. And she should have been more careful before they pushed it. But it goes to show, like, they don't care about lying. Like, Critchley doesn't care about lying. T. Powell, these guys don't care about lying. They are pushing disinformation. They are trying to confuse people and try to convince as many people as they can that the videos are fake. But Ugly American 09, if you want to ping me or whatever, I don't know how to figure out what your chat thing is. You can send me the information on X. You can DM it to me if you want later. If I'm not following you, then you just have to send me, you have to tell me who you are so I can find out who you are and I can follow you back. Appreciate it though. What's my opinion on the Philadelphia experiment? I wouldn't be surprised if this technology we're looking at right here goes back to the Philadelphia experiment. What we're looking at here is not the first version of this. No way. No way. They've been advancing that. What you just saw right there, that's not the first version. You don't start out with the floaty orbs that are teleporting airplanes. So I think that most likely this goes back many decades. Like this, that's the scary part about this science. Maybe we could recruit Bill Nye, the science guy, to do kids messaging on MH370X. He's actually a debunker. Bill Nye is actually on the fellow board with Mick West. So I don't think he's going to help us out. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to switch over to science here. Oh, he's going to, awesome. Ugly American's going to do a video. That's even better, man. You do a video that shows the reticle debunk is fake, and I will retweet the hell out of that. Make sure you at me, but if you do it in the middle of the night, I'm not going to see it. You need to do it during the day or something. Or you need to get into our Discord, and then you can post in the Discord so I can see it. But yeah, if you do, anybody who does debunks of the debunks, that's almost a guaranteed retweet. And for the record, I do not do, don't ask me to retweet your content. I don't do that kind of stuff. Just to be fair to people, I don't do it. And also to keep the integrity of the investigation, I don't do it. But if you are making stuff related to the case, like debunk stuff, whatever, then you can show it to me. And if I like it, I'll retweet it. I did just post a link to the Discord in the chat. So if you want to join the Discord, there's 25 invites right there if anyone's interested. Okay. I'm not going to answer any more questions on MH370 for now. We will, we're going to dig into some science, and then I'll answer more questions at the end. So if you have a question that I didn't answer, wait till after the science is over, and I'll answer a few more. Otherwise, you can ask me tomorrow. A lot of the stuff you guys have asked has already been, you can look through my highlights, and you can already find all the answers to your questions as well. So if I didn't answer your question, I guarantee you every question that's out there has already been answered and asked. So you can go to my highlights, my Twitter profile. Just start scrolling through my highlights. All the highlights, my highlights are only MH370 stuff. I don't put anything else in the highlights, so you don't have to dig through everything. Yeah, no martini tonight, guys. I had chicken before the stream. Okay. Let's take a look at this counterfactual quantum teleportation. So there was a few key points in here. Let me show this. Thank you, Digital K. Guys, I don't think what kind of chicken I had is super important. So counterfactual quantum teleportation. So this is important because, like I said, the noise is a problem. Quantum teleportation has to do with entanglement. And entanglement is similar to the double slit experiment. In double slit experiment, when you observe the measurement, the wave function breaks down. So what we need is the wave function not to break down. So what this experiment talks about is this idea that you can transmit information to allow the quantum teleportation to occur without disrupting the entanglement. That's what this experiment is basically talking about. This means that while quantum teleportation is a clever method to leverage the kind of strong spatial correlation that only occurs in quantum systems to transfer an informational state or energy from one system to another with 100% fidelity, it is not the kind of teleportation we generally think of when something is instantaneously transferred from one location or reconstituted from one location to the other. So quantum teleportation right now only has to do with like energy and information. It doesn't yet have to do with moving a whole person. And that's why the MH370 videos are so big, because it completely changes the paradigm. Now, it does say here, though, as well, that there are mechanisms such as traversable wormholes, a Einstein-Rosen bridge. And that's where it starts talking about this idea of ER equals EPR. So if you're not familiar with ER, that's Einstein-Rosen, that's wormhole. And ER equals EPR is the idea that quantum entanglement, quantum teleportation could be equivalent to a wormhole, a real wormhole. And that's what's going to end up being proven in the future, because we are already seeing it in 2 military videos. As we can just tell that the government is decades ahead of the public in this perspective. Okay. Sorry, I didn't take good enough notes here, so I'm just skimming it real quick. Okay, so the counterportation or counterfactual teleportation experiment, basically what they're going to do here is they're going to exchange the qubits of information without ever measuring the state. Okay, so they're not going to look at it. It's like not looking at it. They're going to be able to figure out how to measure it without looking at it. So how do you do that? How do you measure it without looking? How do you do the double slit experiment without actually measuring it? How do you figure out which slit the photon goes through without measuring it? It's that kind of idea. So they developed this protocol. And this protocol that they developed here then allows the information to be transferred, which is like normally you're talking about Alice and Bob, A and B, on two sides of the wormhole, and you're passing the information through the wormhole or the quantum entanglement to the other side. But you need to do that in a way where you don't have to measure it, because if you measure it, it's going to all collapse. So this right here is how they do it with the experiment, which is pretty interesting. They're using mirrors here to split the beams. And so the idea, I think, is that you're going to measure it somewhere over here. So you're going to send that information over, and you're going to have it keep splitting. And then you're going to get to a situation where you have your detector way down here, and that detector will tell you information about the process without breaking down the transfer of the information. So this is kind of similar to, if you guys are with us, someone said look into the future. Yeah, it's very similar to the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment. It's a very similar process, I think, in terms of how they have this set up. Now, why is this important is probably bigger than even understanding it. Because this really opens the door now to like what a requirement would be to create a real wormhole that's going to be stable, that's not going to fall apart. Because otherwise, what I was thinking with respect to the MH370 videos is like you have to do a measurement, and doing the measurement would allow the plane to like appear over here. So you would say like you're going to stretch the rubber band, and then like you would do a measurement, and when you do the measurement, then poof, the plane disappears from over here and reappears over here. This opens the door where we don't even need that measurement anymore, where you can like flip a switch, and once you flip the switch, you're going to get your rubber band to flick. So to me, this is why I found this paper really interesting. I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys. Hey, Pete, nice to see you, man. Welcome from Spain. I love that there's people all over the world who are watching, by the way, and not just in America. Oh, Charles donated. I don't know what our dollars are, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. Do you think there's any possibility of inventing teleportation without quantum physics, considering it's essential to understand and manipulate the fundamental properties of matter and energy? No, I think quantum physics is absolutely required, and I think it is irrefutably linked together with the teleportation we're seeing. In fact, the macroscopic phase conjugation variant of it, I think, is literally turning mass into energy and energy back into mass again, which is like literally rebuilding the wave function in the double slit experiment. And that is straight up quantum physics. I think all of this quantum physics is the basis for everything related to the videos, because it goes to show what the real underlying framework of our reality is. And that's what leads to the idea of the holographic principle. Is that and unification theories. We don't understand why quantum things seem to work differently than very large things that we see, like this bottle. Why is this bottle, if I drop it, going to break into a million pieces? But if it's a quantum bottle, it's just going to go right through the floor. You know, that kind of stuff. Stuff that's basically just magic. Pretty wild. Yeah, people have talked about the Kroizev mirrors as well, which is like seeing into the future. I think that this opens the door to that kind of stuff as well, because the delayed choice quantum eraser experiment, if you look at the model of how it looks pretty similar to this. In fact, what you'll notice is there's a lot of interferometry. Interferometry is like having the beams connect and what have you, split and connect. You're going to notice there's a lot of that in these experiments. That's something they all share. Double slit experiment, the delayed choice quantum eraser, the Michelson-Morley experiment. They all use interferometry. They're all very similar to this. And this is also very similar to holography when it comes to optical phase conjugation and macroscopic phase conjugation. They all have very similar configurations, which makes you wonder, is there a connection between gravity and light? Because this is all using lasers and stuff like that. So what is the connection there? There's obviously some kind of connection here, which I think is really interesting. That's why in the future, one of the additional papers that I want to go through is if we can use light, like laser beams, to manipulate gravity, which I already think we can. like high-powered petawatt lasers, pulsed lasers potentially, like Salvatore Pais is mentioning, high-frequency gravitational wave generators. I think that lasers are the key to a lot of this stuff. But I think it can also be done with like sound waves as well. I think there's several different ways to pull it up. Yeah, people say that delayed choice quantum eraser is debunked. I don't think that they really understand delayed choice quantum eraser. People debunk a lot of stuff, especially YouTubers that debunk stuff. Usually they're wrong. I looked at it myself, and it seemed very plausible that you can glean information from the future to the past, which is essentially a form of time travel. And I think that what people are going to realize in the future is that time is not linear. And once you realize that time is not linear, you realize you can cheat and look forward a little bit or look in the past a little bit. And once you open the door to that, then the time aspect of this stuff is going to get wild, chat. Real wild. Now, let me see what else we got here. There's a part here where it talks about, maybe let's read some of the rest of this. There's still, okay, no, there's not too much. We're just going to read some of this, chat. Okay, similar to the quantum energy teleportation protocol, the counterfactual quantum wormhole teleportation protocol leverages the fact that entirely separate quantum systems can be correlated without ever having interacted via the intrinsic strong spatial correlation of the vacuum entanglement. This correlation at a distance can then be used to transport quantum information qubits from one location to the other without a particle having to physically traverse the intervening space, revealing the integral multiply connected space-time geometry of the micro wormhole network that connects everything. Okay, chat, this is huge. This basically says that everything is secretly connected in the background, and this is how we can literally teleport information. That's actually possible. This also opens up the idea of the ether. Why is the ether important? Because once you break through to the ether, you break through the medium, then you have a situation where light can travel infinitely fast, hypothetically. If light can travel infinitely fast, that means that all 2 points in space and time are connected in a way that we don't perceive. This is another reason why the ether is so important. I actually forgot about this, but this is why the ether is so important, is that it represents the idea that light can go faster than what we imagine is the speed limit of light. And that begins to really question special relativity. Otherwise, special relativity would say you can't do any of this stuff. And this is why people struggle. A lot of Einstein's stuff is going to get... Einstein did a lot of amazing stuff, but we are going to have to improve upon some of his scientific beliefs. Spooky action at a distance kind of asked some pretty tough questions for Einstein. This is just a paper you can see right here at the top. I posted it in the chat already. I'll post it one more time if you guys want to watch for yourself. The experiment to test counterfactual quantum wormhole teleportation protocol will utilize cavity quantum electrodynamics in an optical setup where it can be demonstrated that communication has been achieved without detectable photons traversing the channel between the two communicating parties, often referred to as Alice and Bob. No measurements are carried out between an initial quantum state and the final quantum state, and hence an underlying physical state, a traversable wormhole, is what has carried the quantum information across space. Such exchange-free communication is only explainable via Maldacena-Susskind ER equals EPR holographic correspondence, in which quantum states like entanglement of qubits are equivalent to or a manifestation of a quantum wormhole connection through space between two systems. Yahtzee! God damn, do I love being right or do I love being right, guys? This right here, this paragraph that we're reading, basically begins to open the door up for a real wormhole, a real traversable wormhole to be possible. This is why I wanted to review this. This was the paragraph that I remember reading because, like, you just read it right there, guys. If we can transfer information across space-time with no measurement whatsoever, like, it's Star Trek time, man. It's Star Trek time. Once you open the door up to faster than light communication and you're actually transferring information, if you can actually transfer information, now you've already proven that all the stuff that we think is impossible is possible. And then it's just a matter of scaling it up to do it to all the information that you see about who I am in the location that I am in space-time. So this is what's wild about it. And then I think it's going to be easier because we don't have to. A lot of people say, well, it's impossible because like this bottle, you have to map every atom in this bottle to teleport it. No, just surround it in a bubble. Just surround it in a bubble. We don't have to map every atom. Just surround the size in a bubble like the orbs are doing around the plane and just teleport everything around the bubble, right? Instead of trying to figure out all the atoms, just make a bubble and teleport the whole bubble. Poof. There you go. Problem solved. That way we don't have to worry about mapping every single atom. The experiment proposed by Hayden will implement the construction of a universal exchange-free 2-qubit computational circuit or grade to counterfactually teleport an unknown quantum state from one or more senders to one or more receivers across space via a local wormhole. An experiment that, if successful, will be a demonstration of Hadam's counterportation protocol and the primary holographic correspondence conjectures of quantum gravity. Ooh, chat. Ooh, this gets me hot, chat. When I read about teleportation and wormholes, it heats me up, chat. It gets me spicy. I love it. Absolutely love it. I just love that wormholes are a real thing. I never thought. Like when this investigation started, I didn't think wormholes were a possible thing. Like I didn't even realize how much science there was around them. And then I started reading Juan Maldacina's traversable wormholes, and I find out about ER equals EPR, and I'm like, holy shit, this is actually real. And then I'm like, wait, okay, so can we actually do this? Oh, yeah. The government's figured it out like decades ago. Like, oh, okay, cool. It's like, man, people think the government's like, I used to think what people were joking when they were like, oh, the government's 30 years more ahead than the public. Now I'm like, nah, it's more like 100 years more ahead. Like they're like in the breakaway civilization category at this point. It's wild. Let's read this last couple there's 4 paragraphs. Okay, well, let's just read it real quick. The concept of exchange-free quantum computation communication has significant implications for the unified physics model expounded on by Harriman and Brown, which describes an entropic force engendered from the temporal entanglement and information exchange across the multiply connected geometric networks of spacetime, more aptly termed the unified space memory network. Our work explains the ordering mechanism underlying dynamical processes such as the evolution and development of general physical systems in the universe toward ever-increasing levels of order and organizational synergetics, leading to the emergence of living forms of matter, i.e. the living system. Why is this part important here? Because the ether is essentially negative entropy. So think of the ether as nothing, and then imagine a line just getting bigger and bigger. That's complexity increasing. So what happens when we break through to the ether? It corrects itself right away, closes up right away. To me, that's what this is explaining. This idea that complexity, everything we see, the mass and matter, is what's laying on top of the ether. And it's spreading out like the paint all over the ether. Yeah, space memory is this idea that like, okay, and this explains to me, like when you see the zap happen, why does it just close up right away? Why is there not some type of explosive event there? Because it's like a phase transition between the ether and our space-time. It's immediately auto-correcting itself through some type of like memory mechanism or something. I don't know. The same info, entropic dynamic underlying generalized evolution of organized matter in living systems is unified with the propensity of some forms of organized matter in the universe to exhibit intelligence, often and arguably arising from or correlated with the attribute called consciousness. The dynamics which we further explain are linked via trans-temporal information exchange generating morphic resonance via intrinsic wormhole connectivity circuits of the quantum vacuum, which are integral to intelligent systems via the space memory network. Basically, this is saying that our bodies are a receiver and that our souls and consciousness come from the ether. I think that's a cool idea. Okay, actually, I'm going to probably skip the rest of this. Oh, let's do the last paragraph. Because the consciousness stuff is great, but I don't want to dig too much in the consciousness stuff. I think it's really cool, but it's not the most important thing for me personally. After we figure out MH370, I'm going to dig into all the crazy shit, though, chat. I'm going to dig into all the crazy shit. Oh boy. If we get a solution to MH370, oh shit, I am popping off. I'm going to dig into all the craziest esoteric concepts, conspiracy stuff out there. I don't give a shit. We're going to dig into all of it. But for now, no, we're going to keep it straight. Keep it on the up and up. Okay. Another salient implication is the necessity of developing a communication technology that is not limited by the speed of light. In order for human civilization to survive far into the future, it must master interstellar travel. At interstellar distances, communicating via light signals like radio transmission is not feasible, even or without even regarding the power requirements of sending a strong enough signal over light years of distance. It is completely impractical to have a multi-year transmission time, over 8 years, just to send and receive between us and Alpha Centauri, which is the closest star system. This is why SETI has not detected any radio transmissions. Technologically advanced civilizations are not communicating via electromagnetic signals. Instead, leveraging the intrinsic spatial entanglement of the quantum vacuum and the multiply connected wormhole network of spacetime, it is more likely that advanced civilizations are utilizing a form of exchange-free quantum communication. And this may be our best bet for interstellar parsec spanning communication technology. So, the practical and experimental proposal by Hatim Salih could not be more important. And perhaps it will lead to a path of research that one day realizes quasi-instantaneous communication and computational technology. Guys, to me, that is wild, chat. Because I believe that if we can teleport a plane, we've already figured out faster than light communication. Faster than light communication is like before we get to any of this stuff. So, just listening to that, doesn't that make so much sense? I'm going to go ahead and save this in here. I'm going to close this out. Oh, we're going to do Lorentz transformations a little bit later. Okay, so the quantum teleportation stuff is amazing. And the faster light communication, basically they're saying like the reason why we haven't detected any signals from other species is because no one's using electromagnetic signals. It takes way too much energy and it takes way too long to get anywhere. We're going to use something like Gunter Nimitz's faster than light communication protocol or something like quantum teleportation. If all 2 points in space and time are connected, then we just abuse that. And we just use quantum teleportation to literally create faster than light communication. The government's already figured it out. Like 100% sure the MH370 videos are real. That means we've already figured out quantum, faster than light communication, quantum communication. And this is why Professor Simon Powell wanted to talk to me. Wait, is it Powell or Howell? Simon Howell, right? Oh, it's Holland, sorry. Yeah, I don't know why. So the reason why Professor Simon Holland, which shout out to him, because I saw his video on faster than light communication, and I was like, "That's real. I know that's real." And he's like, "Yeah, I have a source," and he wouldn't say who his source was, and his source said that SETI has already received faster than light communications and that they're using it. And I was like, "Yep, that jives. That jives with what I'm saying." So this is the reason why he wanted to talk to me. Super cool guy, fun to talk to. He just did an interview with Jack Sarfati. If you guys want to check that out as well, shout out to Professor Simon Holland. Okay, next thing. What's next on the list, chat? So we finally, it took like a week, guys, but we finally got through the counterfactual quantum teleportation protocol. Finally. Okay. Unitel. Where's my Unitel stuff? Okay, if you guys were not with us in the early days, you probably never saw the Unitel stuff. I think this is it right here. Yeah, okay, here we go. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Sorry, I have like 100 pages open in the background. So people are going to be like, what is Unitel? So Unitel was this website that we found, which I don't even know how to describe it. But it's just like an archive of like a bunch of super smart people in scientific papers. And they were talking about teleportation and gravity waves and all kinds of crazy shit. This was even before I knew who Thomas Bearden was. And Where is it? Let's look at. So there's this website. I'll pull it up here for you guys. So this website, I don't know why. Is the website? Yeah, so I started looking up like teleportation and stuff like that. Somehow we found this website, Unitel. First practical interstellar transportation system. This Unitel Type 6 MOS vehicle requires a 3-part laser lens and charged hull to produce specific quantum effects in order to be used for propulsion. The MOS, the macroscopically observable superconductive state. What? When I read this the first time and I was sitting there talking about superconductivity and teleportation, I was like, how does this exist? Pertains to a system that is observable on a larger scale, yet bound to the same laws, quantum laws, as subatomic particles. The fact that atoms or particles can exist on a macroscopic scale was recently proven with the creation of Bose-Einstein condensate, a proven MOS system. So macroscopically observable superconductive state is Bose-Einstein condensate. So there is a connection. This is the connection. People ask, what is the connection between superconductivity? And the answer is superconductivity is what leads to these macroscopically observable quantum states, which, we want to go from quantum teleportation to macroscopic teleportation. Then we need to take that quantum state and we need to scale it up. We need to make it macroscopically observable. How do we achieve that? We achieve that through superconductivity. I'll try to find a better link. Oh, is this it right here? No. See, the old website's gone. I don't remember. I have it somewhere, guys. These were just like old web pages that I had open on the background for like months and months and months and months and months. So I don't know that I have the link to it. I'll give you guys this link here. Look at these applications. I'll give you this link here. If you guys can find the other link, good luck. And then here's the science link to this. So maybe it's on this link right here. I don't know. I just put them in the chat for you guys. So if you're in X right now, then you should be able to see this. So you probably don't need the Baker thing in there to make that work, by the way. Macroscopic quantum tunneling. Okay, and then let's see what else I can say. For traveling huge distances, such from Earth to another solar system, our ship will tunnel. Tunneling is a commonplace phenomenon at subnuclear levels and occurs in semiconductors, nuclear fission, and the tunneling electron microscope. Unitel will use the lens to generate electromagnetic buckling waves, denoting a direct interaction with the 0-point energy. The ZPE is found in the vacuum of space. They're talking about the ether, by the way, chat. It is referred to as 0 point because the energy is not thermal in nature. The 0-point energy consists of random quantum fluctuations, aka the ether, acting as a single giant electron. Acting as a single giant electron, the Unitel spaceship will tunnel through the fabric of space-time to arrive at the calculated destination. The same distance could take eons to travel by conventional means. In this manner, our vehicle will demonstrate superluminal or faster-than-light capabilities. Scalar fields fill the universe and mark their presence by affecting the properties of elementary particles. Scalar fields in nature can generate mass by the expansion of the wavelength of quantum fluctuations. Large fluctuations, such as those produced by our propulsion system, may alter the observed properties of physics. The Unitel vehicle, with its charged hull, surface, and projected laser plasma, will polarize the scalar field underlying the elementary particles in our universe and organize the quantum fluctuations coherently to make them large enough to alter the physical locally in order to provide instantaneous transmission in space-time coordinate to any other. That sounds a lot like teleportation, chat. Sounds like teleportation with extra steps, chat. Yeah, we might have to post this, chat. Holy smokes. We're going to go ahead and save this. Someone needs to find this website. This website doesn't exist anymore. I don't know if it got taken down. Oh, it's too large? Come on, man. Well, that's interesting. Holy shit, chat. You guys just realized they're talking about exactly what we see in the videos, right? The part about turning it into a giant electron, that's superconductivity. So imagine if you create a superconductive electron wave. Now your electrons are acting like one electron. That's superconductivity. Now I'm understanding better and better why superconductivity is so important. We're literally cheating the system. This is actually very similar. Yeah, this is literal mind blowers every day, man. Every day. We're just banger after banger in the streams, man. This is like what Roy D. Herbert was talking about with the extended electrons around the plane. You create an electron wave around them, or your field, if you want to imagine with the orbs, actually probably going like this because they're vertically around the plane. And then that's causing the entire area within inside the plane, the wormhole, to act like one giant electron. And once it's acting like one giant electron, now you've achieved your quantum state. So now I'm even more confused as to whether or not it's really a wormhole or if it's really just macroscopic phase conjugation. I really don't know. Yeah, this is blowing my mind, chat. I mean, what the hell? This wasn't even what I wanted to look at today. I only came back to this because you guys asked me about finding the source. Let's look through this. But I did want to show you this Unitel stuff because like there's something here, man. This, like, whoever made this, I don't know who made this Unitel, where this comes from. Oh, yeah, there's even more. I remember this as well. I think this is the website, this one. Laser propulsion. So this is like EM drive or something. I remember there's something here. Let me do a quick search on my Twitter to see if I've posted about this. Oh, yeah, here we go. February 14th, 2024. So this was 4 months ago, 4.5 months ago, we found this macroscopically observable superconductive state. Oh, it was already what I just read, actually. Yeah, it was what I just read. But it added a note. In other words, one is faking out Mother Nature by creating a unique device which will circumvent the macroscopic laws of general relativity and use the magic of quantum mechanics, which only applies to quantum-sized particles. That's actually somewhere in here. Oh, here it is. It's right here. It's literally right here. This is what I was just reading right here, chat. Yeah, this is wild. This is wild. This is real. Oh, monopoles. Even though monopoles have not yet been observed, God, we hit the mother load, chat. We hit the mother load. I'm only doing an hour tonight, chat. Hour and a half in. I mean, this is getting spicy, chat. This is really making me wonder. Okay. Even though monopoles have not yet been, so here's the thing too, chat. Even 4 months ago when I saw this, like I still didn't conceptually understand it well enough. Now that we've had a much better understanding of scalar physics and we've seen all of Thomas Bearden's stuff, all this is starting to make more and more and more sense. I'll post this link in the chat here as well. Please look through this, guys. If you are in the Discord and you want to look through this and you find any good quotes from it, put it in our, I'm going to make a new science channel for people. For now, just put it in the general channel. If you find anything good. So there's the link to it there. For the people in X, you can copy and paste or something. People who are in YouTube, you can click on it directly from my link. Okay, so monopoles. Oh, and RF waveguides. Oh boy, this is spicy. Because now, if you guys have been following on long enough, you're starting to see patterns in the scientific concepts. We see Thomas Bearden talk about this stuff. We see this stuff with free-scale semiconductors. We are seeing it in stuff like these papers. There are these common themes to the same scientists in history, the same scientific concepts over and over and over and over again. So even if you don't understand all the science, you start to see the same stuff over and over again, and this is how you build your knowledge up. This is why I say that anybody can understand this stuff. You don't have to be special or anything like that. Okay. We will be able to produce... Okay, so let's see. Even though monopoles have not been observed, there have been successful applications of helically wound optical fibers, and RF waveguides producing monopole effects such as parallel transport on a macroscopic scale. We will also produce parallel transport, I haven't heard this term, which is purely a geometrical effect, with our pulsed spiraling laser plasma. Centrifugal force is exerted on the projected plasma, is directed towards the center of the circular motion of the spiraling plasma, not away from it. This phenomenon is attributed to the massively rotating charged naked singularity at the end point of the projected plasma. Chat, I'm going to get fucking killed. We are over the mark, chat. We are over the target, chat. Oh boy, chat. Yeah, we are over the target. This is what we're seeing in the MH370 videos. Holy shit. Who wrote this? Who wrote this, chat? Yeah, they're talking about the Taurus. This is, when I read something that's like so over the mark, it scares me. So what are we looking at right here, guys? We're looking at what they just described here with these orbs. That's what they're describing. It's a plasma that's shooting some kind of laser to create a magnetic monopole. Oh boy. Oh boy. The heat signature right there. You can see the heat signature rotating on the axis, just like that thing just explained. Look at that heat signature right there. Oh boy. Oh boy. We got to read that. Yeah. What year was this, chat? What year did this get? 2001? Is that it? Anytime I read something and I'm like, oh, well, that's what I'm looking at the MH370 videos, that's what freaks me out the most. Because the key here, the thing that gets people shut up is when they piece the stuff together. And we've been piecing the stuff together on live streams every night. Look at those. Look at the orb movements there. Look at that. Oh, my God. Okay, let's read that again. We will also produce parallel transport with our pulsed spiraling laser plasma. Man, no wonder Salvatore Paez was like, you figured it out. Like I was telling him, can we do something with like a laser like this? He was probably just sitting there like afraid to say anything because he's like, yeah, you've pretty much nailed it. He wants to be like, yes, you've nailed it. No wonder Salvatore Paez is like sitting there telling me like, you're going to be a great man one day. Well, because I'm fucking just literally intuitively figuring out exactly what's going on in those videos, man. Literally what's going on in these videos. Spiraling laser plasma. Centrifugal forces is exerted on the projectile plasma is directed towards the center of the circular motion of the spiraling plasma. That's going to probably, I bet you anything that forms our Tesla symbol that we see. This phenomenon is attributed to a massively rotating charged naked singularity at the end point of the projected plasma. Massively rotating charged naked singularity. I think he's just this sentence right here, I think is literally describing the Tesla symbol in the orb. I think this is literally describing the Tesla symbol in the orb right here. That's what I think this is describing right here. Like what Bob Greenyer was talking about. Where's the do I have the damn image? Lulu, come on. She's trying to get into my room. I can hear her scratching. Come on, girl. Oh, yeah, here. I have it, chat. We have it. Oh, we have it. I saved it recently. Guys, this is what the fucking DOE was talking about. This is what the DOE thing was talking about. Chat. Look at this. Look at this, chat. I think this is what they're talking about right here with this orb. This phenomenon is attributed to the massively rotating charged naked singularity at the end point of the projected plasma. So it's either they're talking about right here shooting out, but it's shooting inward. And it's creating this field around it right here. And look at the DOE. This one on the right is from the DOE's Twitter from like a couple months ago. Look at the one on the right. It's identical. The heat signature on the DOE's orb is identical to our orb. Identical. Even you notice how it like cuts off right here as well. This orb does right here as well. The heat signature cuts off towards it, like cuts back towards the middle right here. It's exactly the same. This is not a coincidence. This was something on like their plasma physics. They posted something about plasma physics on the DOE, and I saw this picture and I'm like, what the F? This is exact same thing. We're looking at it. I think this paper is explaining it. How can people think this is fake, man? There's no video in the history of the world where you can go to this level of corroboration. We're pulling pictures up from the DOE, Department of Energy's Twitter profile, and they have heat signatures that match our orbs. This was posted on DOE's website a few weeks ago. These videos are from 2014, 10 years ago. This is going to be better than any movie ever. Any movie ever. Guys, who should play me in the movie about MH370? Hopefully, I live long enough to watch the movie played about me. Jim Parsons. It's gonna be either Jim Parsons or Jesse Eisenberg or Michael Cera. Gonna be one of those three guys. That's wild. Okay, is there any more? Is there more, chat? Oh, is there more? This three-phase projected plasma confines the excitonic gases and provides a path of parallel transport, a fine connection that automatically aligns the trapped charged particles in one direction like the atoms in a magnet. These particles then move without resistance in a superfluidic fashion. Excitations perfectly replicate the information particles called phonons, Cooper pairs. Oh, I was talking about superconductivity. Superconductive harmonic orbs, chat. However, excitons can carry the same information in the vacuum as phonons cannot operate in a vacuum. The excitation mechanism in a superconductor, phonon-mediated electron-electron interaction, is replaced by excitons. As the case is with phonons, the excitons cause the electrons to attract, forming bounded pairs such as Cooper. It's literally explaining high-temperature superconductivity. This is actually explaining Salvatore Paius's high-temperature superconductivity. This literally just says plasmas can create like basically superfluids where Cooper pairs begin to form to produce superconductivity without low temperatures. That's what this is explaining right here. Those orbs are superconductive harmonic orbs. Like I literally nailed it before I even understood this. Superconductive harmonic orbs. Scalar fields. I mean, we got to post this tomorrow, guys. This is fucking wild. This is blowing my mind, man. This is just literally blowing my mind. Oh, come on. Paste common text. Oh, shit. This is wild. Okay, scalar fields. Like, what is there going to be more? Like, this is. I've already got more than I was even expecting tonight, and we didn't even get to the papers. Scalar fields fill the universe and matter and mark their presence by affecting the properties of elementary particles. Scalar fields in nature can generate mass by the expansion of the wavelength of quantum fluctuations. Large fluctuations, such as those produced by our propulsion system, may alter the observed properties of physics. The Unitel vehicle, with its charged hull surface and projected laser plasma, will polarize the scalar field underlying the elementary particles in our universe and organize the quantum fluctuations coherently to make them large enough to alter physics locally in order to provide instantaneous translocation from one space-time coordinate to any other. Wow. They're talking about creating wormholes, polarizing space-time one way or the other. How many times did Dave Rossi mention this on our interviews? I think he's mentioned this multiple times about polarizing it. This is what they're talking about. They're talking about creating coherence, coherent quantum fluctuations. What's a coherent quantum fluctuation? Well, a wormhole. You're creating coherence. So you're basically manipulating the fabric of the ether and our reality. Damn, this is wild, chat. Wow. Okay. Oh, okay. We might have to come back to this tomorrow. And look at this paper. So I went through. So this link right here on the science, this is just like all scientific papers. Like somebody like put together all the best scientific papers ever written and put them together. And I was like, started looking through it, and I'm like, wait, warp drive? The science of warp drive? Look at all these papers about warp drive. And then there's something about black triangles here. Yeah, like this is like just the mother lode. This is like when you're playing a video game and you get to the chest and it's like a golden chest and it's got like 1,000,000 coins in it. And you're like, whoa, shit. Or you get like the super weapon out of it. And you're like, okay, we hit the jackpot on that one. Like that's what this is. Like, holy shit, what is this? Post-quantum physics? There's Jack Sarfati. What? Jack Sarfati's listed here. Harnessing gravitational waves. Harnessing gravitational waves. Yeah, look at the loot, chat. Look at this loot, man. This is like we paid for the loot box and we hit the S+ diamond tier loot. Dr. Robert Baker. Bob Baker. This is Bob Baker, chat. You guys don't even know Bob Baker yet? Bob Baker is probably going to be up there with like Thomas Bearden. The story of high frequency gravitational waves. What? The story of high frequency gravitational waves? This is like broaching on Salvatore Paez's stuff now. High frequency gravitational wave generator. Application of high frequency gravitational waves to imaging. I mean, we got a lot of stuff to go through. MITRE Corporation's criticism of high frequency gravitational waves. And then it goes back to warp drive. Like it connects back to the warp drive over here. It's like, why are you connecting back to the warp drive with high frequency gravitational wave? Oh, that's why. Oh, this is literally the MH370 videos are real. And we've got now the mother load of scientific papers to prove it. Absolute mother load. I mean, there's got to be at least, I don't know, 50, 100 scientific papers in here. Even if only like 20% of them are legit. Dark matter or dark energy. Look at this one. Look who's up next, chat. Colonel Dr. Tom Bearden. Hello, Tom Bearden. So we got Bob Baker, Jack Sarfati, Thomas Bearden, and some of these other guys are probably legends. Hal Puthoff right here. I didn't even notice this. Can the vacuum space 0-point energy be engineered for space flight applications? Well, that's a winner. Wow. So we got like all the legends are in here, chat. Like all the legends. Quantum vacuum fluctuations, a new Rosetta Stone for physics. Okay. Yeah, this is a Yahtzee, chat. This is a Yahtzee. This is like when you're playing the game and you hit the loot box and then you're looking around to make sure no one's going to snipe you while you're like going through the loot and you're trying to like change out all your gear to put all the new loot on. You're like, shit, I don't want anyone to snipe me. There's like, because you just hit the mother load, you just get paranoid as fuck. You're like, oh shit, where are they coming for me now? Like, this is bazinga. Lucid dreaming. I don't even want to read this part because it's just going to scare me. The lucid dreaming part is just going to scare the shit out of me at this point because I already know the rest of this stuff is legit. I don't even want to know if the lucid dreaming stuff is legit. I'm going to leave the out of body experiences and lucid dreaming stuff, put that off to the side. We're going to be like, that's where you pick up the cursed tool and you're like, nah, I don't even want to equip this. We got enough good shit. We don't need that right now. I don't want to get a curse that I don't need. We're just going to ignore that part. This definitely makes you wonder whether or not like there's a connection between some of this technology and like consciousness though. Like some of the stuff like the consciousness. And then down here, what do we Tesla's free energy transmitters and earthquake generator. Okay, well, I have to check that one. Oh, well, here's a whole thing about Tesla. Great. We're going to just start generating earthquakes. Great. Well, Wonderful chat. Impulse gravity generator based on YBA2, CU2, CU3, and oxygen. Oh, I think this might be a high temperature superconductor. I'm pretty sure this. It is. It is. It is. Guys, I am starting to scare myself, chat. Oh, we have to check out Modenese as well. We have to check out Modenese. Giovanni Modenese. This is Potkanov, dude. This is Potkanov. This is the guy that was researching gravity manipulation with superconductors. Like, it's to the point, guys, where I'm seeing the Matrix, chat. I'm fucking seeing the Matrix now. Like, I see these YBA2CU3 O's or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's the ceramic superconductor that Potkanov used. And then I read down here, oh, yep, superconductor from Potkanov, and I'm like, oh shit, we're seeing the Matrix, chat. I'm in the flow. I'm in the zone, chat. We got Potkanov. We got Ning Li. I got Ning Li on my right over here, and we got Amy Eskridge over here. The spirits of them are with us right now, and they're just like, yup, here you go. It's Yahtzee time. An excellent historical and current overview of the Casimir Force. I mean, this is just every effing paper that you need all together. What is this? Is this paper by both of them? Yep. Potkanov and Modenese, is that how you say his name? Modenese, I probably. Oh boy, we are definitely going to be reading this. Oh, this one's the easy one, huh? Oh boy. Chat, we're going to be doing some leveling up, chat. Yeah, is this real life right now? How is this real life? Are we yeah, we're going to be doing some major leveling up with these scientific papers in the next few weeks. The best part is, like, we had to understand the basics before we got to this part to even understand what we were looking at, to know how important this is. Like with the Casimir force, I was arguing with another physicist about the Casimir force. Like, Casimir force is just the Van der Waals fluctuations, which are two completely different things. The Van der Waals, like two atoms, why two atoms would like stick together. Well, Casimir force is when two plates at a macroscopic level have an attraction. That's not the same thing. I'm sure they're somewhat similar, but they're definitely not the same. And he sends me a paper. He's like, oh, the Casimir effect is perfectly explained by the Van der Waals. And I'm like, no, it's not. And I'm like, why don't you try to explain it? Oh, silence. Guys, even some of these like mainstream physicists, they're just, I'm goofy. I know how physics works. Yeah, okay. So top 10 conspiracy theories. Guys, we got a lot of content here. This is enough content to keep us interested for weeks. What are the top 10 conspiracy theories? I'm even afraid to click. Psychic destroys family. Oh, shit, chat. Big pharma. Satanic cults. Oh, for my conspiracy followers, you guys are about to... My conspiracy followers, we hit the mother load for you. Protocols of Elders of Zion. Does that have to do with Zionists? Guys, I don't even know what Zionist means. The Roswell cover-up. JFK assassination. Okay, yeah, this is a spicy one. There's a Paul McCartney's death conspiracy. Oh, would they like put a lookalike in place? Interesting. Oh, moon landing hoax. Oh, they got some subliminal advertisement. Oh, yeah. Princess Diana's murder. Oh, and then, of course, 9/11 conspiracies. Oh, boy. Got a little something for everybody on this here tonight, chat. Little something for everybody. Yeah, don't tell me turn around, Cat of Good. You're going to freak me out. You realize I can see through the camera, right? So I can see behind me. Yeah, don't get me started on the Zionists, guys. I'm the full on Chris Pratt. Like I don't know what Zionist means, and I'm too afraid to ask at this point. So I don't even want to dig into it. Don't even try to tell me. I don't want to know. I don't care. I prefer to be silent. Oh, PBS Nova Spacetime. Ooh. Damn, this is great. Fractal geometry. Fractal geometry for my fractal sacred geometry friends. Yo, this website has everything. Everything. Wow. Hutchinson effect. Notes on the Hutchinson effect and Casimir force. Gravity inertial dampening circuits and associated patents. Free energy, cold fusion, and magneto-hydrodynamic generation. Well, that's nice. Is this a link? What does this go to? Oh, 404 not found, chat. 404. Oh, and okay, so this is just the same deal. Okay, I see. And then Nikola Tesla. Wow. Scalar longitudinal waves. What might they be? Holy shit, chat. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, I haven't been this excited in so long. Oh, yes. Oh, boy. Look at this reading. Thomas Bearden. There's Thomas Bearden. Wow. We have so much content now. Oh, my God. This is going to keep us going for a while. This is just... Okay, wow. Well, the last thing I'm going to go through for tonight is this. This is one of the Thomas Bearden papers here. This is the one, Dark Matter, Dark Energy. Thomas Bearden just basically blows dark matter and dark energy out of the water here. Says that the ether can explain it all. I think hold on. I'm just going to read the post that I made. So this is the post I sent to that physicist. Because that physicist was like trying to argue with me, and I'm like, look, man, I'm not trying to be rude, but like, I literally have seen the answers. So I'm like, he's like, I'm a particle physicist who has been researching dark matter, and nobody knows what dark energy is, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I can explain it. I'm like, I've seen the answers. I've seen the 2 + 2 = 4. So here's your answer. And he's like, well, no, it can't be like that. And I'm like, well, look, man, I'm not trying to argue about it, but you're trying to tell me 2 + 2 = 5. And I just have already seen the answer says 2 + 2 = 4. So, you know, if you want to argue, whatever, but I'm just telling you, I've seen the answers. And it's like, so Thomas Bearden's thing about the space-time ether says, however, what particle physicists do not, oh, wait, can I link this somewhere else for you guys? Let's see if I can link this so you guys can read it. Shit. Oh, here it is. So this was the poor guy, Daniel Whiteson here. Don't harass this guy, Chad. I'm not trying to harass people, whatever. So yes, we don't know what dark matter is, but we know it's not more mass for stars and gas, etc. Yeah, that's not even what I'm arguing, like, at all. That's not what the ether is. What particle physicists did not do is apply Whittaker condition to the potential existing between the separated charges of the dipole. Consequently, they entirely missed the neg-entropic reordering of the vacuum energy that ensues. So when you talk about negative entry, it's like I think you imagine like the reordering that occurs regarding if you were to make a rip into the ether, if you were to rip through the painting to get to the fabric. Whittaker shows us that expanding reorganization of the vacuum, moving in all directions from the dipole at light speed, identically as harmonic set of bidirectional electromagnetic longitudinal wave pairs organized in the virtual particle flux of the vacuum. Each 4-wave pair consists of 3 outgoing spatial longitudinal waves and is incoming phase conjugate replica wave in a complex plane. So when you're talking about 4 wave pairs, you're talking about the electric field and the magnetic field, and then having them expand out in both directions, and then they're bouncing back as well. I think that's what he's explaining here. That's how you get to 4. Since time is modeled in the complex plane in Minkowski spacetime, a neg-entropic reorganization of the entire spacetime continuum is underway merely from the formation of a small dipole. The reorganization is not just 3-spatial, but also temporal, because the appearance of the phase conjugate replica wave in every Whittaker wave pair. In short, that is the source of not only the pointing energy flow component intercepted by the physical power system, and we just learned that power is flowing through the field, the power field. It's not flowing through the wires. And it's based on the pointing vector. The pointing vector determines the energy flow. But also of all that non-intercepted and ignored heaviside dark energy flow component that Lorentz erroneously discarded. So essentially what he's saying here is that the energy that is coming from the ether is what can account for dark energy. And that's what dark energy is. The underlying quantum fluctuations of the vacuum over the huge size of the universe, the canvas, essentially. And then he talks about dark matter. Dark energy is a candidate source for the missing gravity in space occupied by mass. This is what he's talking about. The missing gravity is literally dark matter. That's what we call dark matter, is the missing gravity that we're missing. In intense ongoing electromagnetic interaction activity, there's far more EM energy present at the interactions and in the vicinity than physics and electrodynamics accounts for, because of the arbitrary and erroneous discard by Lorentz and his modern followers of the vast heaviside dark energy component of every EM interaction. This, of course, has immediate gravity implications. What he's saying here is that, in my mind, when they simplified the equations, not only did they throw out that scalar potential, but that reduced all the total energy that they thought was out there got lowered. When you lower the total amount of energy, then you've lost all the additional mass. Mass equals energy. E equals mc squared. And so this is the idea that the mass can also be explained by the missing ether as well, and that we did the calculations incorrectly. The math equations were simplified incorrectly, and that will also bring back the extra gravity that we need. It's like, what the F? We can explain dark matter and dark energy with the ether now easily? Like, how is this not? Why is everybody not just on this? Like, obviously, this is the answer. People are like, no, we just can't know. We can't possibly know. It follows that energy calculated by the astrophysicists as being available in their interactions of light and mass in distant astronomical entities is grossly understated due to the Lorentz arbitrary omission of the most of the actual EM energy flow present. So they omitted a huge amount of the actual energy because we thought that space was empty, but it's not. The total space-time curvature induced by the dark energy in the presence of those interactions is much greater than the astrophysicists calculate and account. In turn, it follows that the gravity calculated by the astrophysicists for those energetic distant astronomical entities is significantly understated. We just did the calculations wrong. That's it, guys. We just did the calculations wrong. So that was from the paper, the Thomas Bearden one, from that same website, the Unitel website. So holy crap, guys. I do wonder about black holes now, actually. The black holes might have a different explanation than what we think. Or it's just maybe we have to understand it a little bit differently. Yeah, dark matter is a silly notion anyway. I never liked the idea of dark matter. I don't like that there's something going on there and we can't explain it, so we're just going to make up something for it. That goes to show me that we've missed something fundamental regarding physics. And that's the answer. We did miss something fundamental. We missed the ether. Let's see. Okay, any last questions before we shut down, guys? We've already been going 2 hours, so I went only an hour longer than I thought I was going to go tonight. I also, guys, you know what? I'm going to throw it out there. I also kind of think the Big Bang is bullshit, too. I'm going to have to agree with Giuliano here. I think the James Webb Space Telescope already destroyed the age of the universe. They found galaxies when they looked through James Webb. They were far too advanced for how far away they are. And that destroys the age of the universe. So the question there is, and the only reason why we think the universe is expanding is because when we look up at the sky everywhere, we see redshift, Doppler effect, redshift. So if we see stuff redshifting, we assume it's moving away from us, accelerating away from us. That's why we assume that there must be a Big Bang. But if it's just light getting tired in the medium, losing energy in the medium, the ether, If light just loses energy everywhere it goes, that's just a simpler explanation. In which case, then the age of the universe completely thrown up in the air. Who knows? Maybe the universe has been around forever. Maybe the universe has been around for 1 trillion years. And I think that's what's going to end up happening, is that we're going to find out the universe is basically infinite in size and that we've completely misunderstood the idea. That doesn't mean that there can't be a Big Bang. I think you can still create a Big Bang because we can basically create infinite energy. So yeah, once you scale it up, you can create a Big Bang. But I think that the overall size of the universe in general is going to end up being much bigger than we think, and that it'll have been around for much longer than we think as well. That's my opinion. I'm throwing it out there. Christopher Nolan would like to know your location. Yeah, we got to make a new Interstellar, Christopher Nolan, if you're out there, bro. Got to make a new Interstellar. Also, we're going with this spelling of ether, guys. Aether. We're the ones who get to make it up, so we're going with Aether. Also, if you want, I will allow the weird AE symbol where like the E is like in the A. We'll also allow that to fly as well. Those will both be allowed. Those will both be socially acceptable with respect to which ethers we use here. Yeah, energy doesn't have to be created or destroyed. It can just be borrowed. So for the classical physicists who don't really seem to understand what we're talking about here, yeah, well, the ether is unlimited energy. Where do you guys think everything we see around us comes from? Just come from nowhere? No, it just comes from the ether, and the ether has unlimited energy. So this is where we don't need to create or destroy it. It's like, where does rain come from? Right? Where does rain come from? Does it come from nowhere? No, it comes from the water system. Same thing with energy. The energy system, the source of it, the oceans of the energy system are the ether. So just so that makes sense for people. Advice for self-education outside of university. Now, that's a great point. I think that you can easily teach yourself this, and you start at the basics. Start watching YouTube tutorials from starting with electrical engineering and work your way up. And if you don't understand it, watch it again. And don't worry about trying to understand all the concepts right away. Just try to understand, like, watch maybe like 10 and then go back if you need to until you get good. You need a good baseline for electrical engineering. And then start watching some of the stuff like the Vertasium videos about how power really works. And then start watching some of the Thomas Bearden stuff. And if you do it that way, like I probably read like 2 to 3 scientific papers a day now. And then once you start getting up to that part, and it's really about which ones you read. Like if you're reading this Unitel stuff, you're going to be reading the good stuff. If you're, reading garbage that's like, this has been debunked, like anything that says debunked, throw it in the trash. Just throw it right in the trash. Generally, real scientists don't try to debunk stuff. They just try to understand. So that's where I would say start. You can look through my old live streams as well on YouTube if you want to like follow along. Go back to like November when I started doing science streams, and you can kind of see how I did it. Because I knew almost nothing about electrical engineering back in November. And after Salvatore Pais, I was like, I'm going to learn this. And that's what we've been doing for the last 6 months. I'd say in 6 months, I've gained the equivalent of probably at least 2 years worth of university education in just 6 months of doing this at night for a couple hours every night. So it's pretty wild. Like anybody can pull it off. Anybody can do it. Anybody can understand it. Yeah, there's your ether symbol right there for you guys right there, that one. Because a lot of people ask me that, and that's the thing I want to do is inspire people, is I want to teach people the concepts so that we can finally teach people how physics and electrical engineering really works, because that's how we're going to get to Star Trek. I'm a patriotic guy. Americans need to start learning how science really works, because otherwise China and Russia are going to pass us up. They're going to pass us up. A lot of these engineers are old, man. They're like in their 80s. We need young engineers who understand this stuff so that the United States can be awesome again. Like all of our engineers and shit are from India and China. Like we need like American engineers who understand electrical engineering, who understand scalar physics, who can produce over Unity devices so that American can finally stop sucking again and we can actually be good at some shit. Like there's no reason we can't be good at semiconductors and all this stuff that we're looking at. Like we should corner the market in gravity manipulation. Any other last questions? Debunked. There you go. There's Emily has got the correct AE there. Appreciate it. Also, I haven't seen Ellie in the chat in a long time, so I hope she's out there. I hope she's okay. She used to watch us a lot. So Ellie, if you're out there, I hope you're doing well. If anyone knows her, by the way, and can reach out to her, you know, see how she's doing. I do recognize when people haven't been in the chat for a long time. They've been following us for a long time. Okay, any other things? Yeah, by the way, Russia knows way more because they look at they don't teach their people the same way we do. Like we teach our people wrong in America, and this is why we have so many idiots when it comes to like, I mean, you guys know when I posted the thing about power, there were a ton of electricians and electrical engineers that didn't even know that power doesn't flow through wires. Like all they have to do is watch one Vertasium video and they will actually understand how power really works. Like we just literally not teaching people correctly. Like it's scary. I was just laughing at all the people who are like, no, it definitely flows through wires. And I'm like, no, man, you were just taught wrong. Like, holy shit, we don't even know about how power works, how power flows. And I get why it's confusing because if you use the right hand rule, if you have an extremely long wire and your connection points are like just over here and over here, you know, it's going to look like the power is flowing through the wire. But once you change your circuit around and you make it like a long hot dog and you put your power, your light bulb here and your battery here, then you start to realize that the power is not flowing through the wire. So that's, you know, it takes a bit for people to wrap their brains around it. God damn, man. We got to catch up to Russian, man. Fucking Russian, man. Okay, guys, I think that's going to be it. I'm going to take off. Thank you guys tonight. Thanks, MH370X. We'll try to do another live stream tomorrow. Hopefully, I won't be exhausted. What are we going to listen to tonight? We're going to try one of these random ones that I have never listened to. So if this song is bad, don't blame me. You know, but people have put out some really awesome stuff. So let's, you know, appreciate it anyway. Thanks, MH370X. Talk to you guys tomorrow, everybody. Peace. Have a good one.
It's H370 until you do some research. Don't talk to me. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. Your opinion, it means squat to me. It's H370. Not all heroes wear capes. I wear glasses to see. I'm going to find the truth while I sip this martini. The trolls hate seeing me succeed. But guess what? H370.